Crazy already.
It's gonna be a Mexican sweet potato hash, requested by the champ himself.
And Jay, what are you gonna come down with a Versace roll on?
True excellence doesn't need to announce itself that IT shows up ready. And Shakur Stevenson has been stepping into this chapter like someone who's been steadily working toward it for years, waiting for the right time to strike.
Started out playing baseball, baseball bat in his hand. He exhibited a very keen hand-eye coordination, at a very early age, He and I, every day, were watching boxing. So one day, he finally sat up and just started punching. I'm like, whoa, hey. While he was walking, at the time, barely, he started punching and throwing the bat, doing everything.
Yes, yeah, that one right to that show.
Let's go, work, guys! You got one!
Don't stay there. Don't stay there. Don't stay there.
Ain't nothing, man.
The purple was.
It shows how you call me that little shot in the first round.
Huh?
Little bullet first shot.
Was I catching it?
You got it back.
Hey. It's straight. I seen you around a couple times.
Shit, man.
I was at,
He moves without hurry, never doing anything unnecessary. Every action builds on the last with clear intent. And now, with Andre Ward standing beside him, refining his approach for Teofimo, that focus has become even sharper.
Yeah. The way your heart rate is recovering right now,
It's
you
quick, huh?
getting close, yeah.
Yeah, cause I'm like, he
Yeah.
getting tired.
Yeah.
And then he'll do some fight. Like, boom, boom, boom. Like, okay.
I gotta rest up, take some wind.
Yeah. I saw him catching some of that
Yeah,
too.
is what you really gotta watch out for. I like the little smooth, but the lead hand is like sneaky.
I love.
It's down here, so you'll get caught like looking at it and waiting for it to come, and then thump.
I like how he stay long and keep that angle.
Yeah, he keep the angle.
Keep his head off that
Position,
fucking
man,
line.
just in case. Especially with somebody
Yeah.
fast like him with timing. You can't be out of position. You got that.
Yeah.
He strong as hell. He can pick me up in there. It was fun though. Just to be in the ring with him, share the ring with him, test his IQ out a little bit, see some of the moves he doing, and I'm gonna go take with me when I go fight. So I appreciate Dre.
That detail, by itself, says everything about the level of commitment here. Ward isn't someone who holds hands. He upgrades fighters who are already ready. And what he's been instilling in Shakur is control, smart placement, and that elite composure that only reveals itself when the spotlight is burning.
Many are called, few are chosen. He was the chosen one. How he stood apart was his talent, his gifts. He was able to do things that the average fighters wasn't able to do. It's something about elite fighters. Their talent stand out apart from the competition, like way before it come to fruition. And I'm one that everywhere I'm looking and searching and seeking for that special talent.
Oh my God! Welcome down!
Boxing means everything to me.
That's too easy!
Boxing is like my life. It's like something I'm married to. Like I feel like I'm married to boxing. Like I put my all into the sport. I do whatever I can to be the best, and I'm gonna keep doing whatever I can to get better and better. And I just want to be the best.
You could already see pieces of it in the fight with Zepeda. Shakur didn't just handle the pressure. He broke it down, staying calm while the storm collapsed around him. When you compare that to Teofimo's strongest performances, the difference becomes obvious. Teofimo explodes in short flashes. Shakur, on the other hand, wears opponents down piece by piece until there's nothing left to give. That level of control didn't come from a luxury training center. His grandfather, Wally Moses, explained it best years ago. Shakur first picked up baseball, where his coordination stood out early. But being around boxing constantly pulled him in. Even as a small kid, he was already throwing punches naturally, which led to early mitt work and fast progress.
As time went on, you know, I started working with the mitts with him, you know, at an early age, and, you know, he really got good at it. So by the time he turned 5 years old, I took him to the gym. So one day I took, you know, like old karate pitcher, I took the boxing gloves, sat him here, took the baseball bat, sat it here, and I said, yo, whichever one you choose is gonna be your destiny. So he made a quick veer to the boxing glove, picked up the boxing glove, put him on his hand, said that's it. Everything else was history.
When he was just 5 years old, a decision was placed in front of him: stick with baseball or step into boxing. He didn't hesitate. He picked the gloves, and that moment shaped everything that came after. That early commitment is still showing now, because today, Shakur isn't hunting highlights or attention. He's grinding through the work every single day, moving with precision, designed to break Teofimo down layer by layer, until self-belief collides with strategy, and only one of them remains standing.
So far, camp has been going great, you know, looking at the anticipation of the things that's coming forward. You know, we're not looking past anybody, but, you know, he's been working very hard, and he's been in the gym a very good amount of time, and, you know, I think he's taking this fight just as seriously as he would take any other fight, if not more. So I know for sure that I could say he's going to be ready.
Standing across from that steady, controlled force is Teofimo Lopez, bursting with energy, overflowing with self-belief, grinning like someone who thinks the outcome is already written. This is the version of Teofimo where confidence pours out of every word, where he jokes, taunts, and labels Shakur a roadrunner. But behind the playful shots, there's a more dangerous edge forming.
I'm fighting a roadrunner. I'm the coyote. You chose me. I ain't choose you. You chose me. So I'm gonna tell you straight the F up. You can go back to 135. We'll send you back to lightweight. You still got your WBC belt. You're gonna be fine. Shakur will fall. Kaz. We are here at the Undisputed Performance Center, just in preparation for January 31st against Shakur Stevenson.
He was born for this. He's God gifted. We're implementing a lot of different things for this camp. You got to do things in there that people have never seen.
Every day is a different type of segment of working out. Earlier today, I had a little bit of strength and conditioning, and then swimming, exercising and expanding those lungs. And then we finish off late night. We come here and do 18 ounces of gloves, an hour or as long as I can of training without no break.
Teofimo doesn't throw out jokes when he's unsure. He does it when he's completely dialed in. You can sense it in how he speaks about the matchup. Part humor, part warning. It's as if he's challenging Shakur to move, just so he can make his statement. This is the Teofimo who shines brightest when the stakes are highest.
He's the best whenever he's in good condition. Like they say, we eat, we sleep, everything boxing.
My nutritionist is anonymous. They're giving me a lot more protein than the previous camps. I'm actually having more meals in between rather than before.
He manages focus and chaos in a way that only he can truly grasp. Always at his side is Teofimo Sr., directing the training, guiding the mindset, and reinforcing the identity his son has carried long before any uncertainty ever crept in.
I've been with him ever since he started boxing, which was at 6. I really knew that he was really good when he started beating professional fighters at 13, 14 years old.
Between me and Shakur, when we were on the top rank, because we were the next rising stars, we sparred. We did only 3 rounds back in Miami in 2016. I was getting the best out of him. You should have seen afterwards. Why do you think he said stop? He said stop recording. Come on, dog.
That bond between father and son remains the driving force, the pulse behind Teofimo's preparation for Stevenson. It pushes him to rely on instinct, refine his timing, and embrace the explosive power that has marked his greatest performances. This is the risky Teofimo zone, focused enough to put in the work, self-assured enough to joke, and stubborn enough to believe the world has misjudged him once more.
I think I'm gonna learn the most with this fight coming up. I don't even look at my fights after I fight. I just go clock in, do my work. Shakur and that community are all personal, buddy, where I'm like by myself a lot of times, but that's part of the success because they're all Michael Vicks and I'm a dog.
And history shows that when Teofimo grins like this, talks like this, and trains like this, uncertainty is no longer part of the equation. You're facing a fighter who fully anticipates turning the ring into his arena and forcing everyone else to try to keep up.
I'm coming to conquer.
You're not conquering
us. I get bullied constantly in the boxing world. Everyone's favoring Shakur Stevenson. Although he's coming up to my weight class, I am the king of this division.
Then I have Shakur Jigama. No?
You said you're gonna do what?
Jiggle my balls.
What? Wow,
you hard, bro. Pause. You hard.
So that's why we got to keep beating these guys. Beating Shakur, this is part of it to get to that next level. I pretty much have had almost everything thrown at me, and I look forward to see what will be thrown at me come January 31st.
Just as Teofimo was framing himself as the disruptor, ready to drag the fight into chaotic waters, Oscar Valdez stepped forward, sounding like someone who's already navigated that maze and knows how the walls shift. Valdez didn't show up with hype. He showed up with experience and battle scars. When he pointed out that the key against Shakur is avoiding greed, it hit hard, because that's exactly how Shakur turns top fighters into frustrated shadowboxers. Valdez kept emphasizing patience, resisting Shakur's attempts to pull you into his flow. And that's the part many overlook. Shakur doesn't force you into his game. He quietly strips away every other option until choosing his path feels inevitable.
Set the tone with someone with Shakur, you better have a game plan because the guy he's gonna be patient. He's not gonna get off his game plan to fall into your trap. So if I'm Teofimo Lopez coach, I would tell him not to lose focus, not to get frustrated inside the ring. Stick to your game plan, whatever game plan it is. If it's A, B, C, whatever it is, stick to it and go for it.
When Valdez describes how Shakur subtly rocks back, taps you again, and then waits for you to commit so he can capitalize, that's not just commentary. That's a masterclass in psychological pressure. I also loved Valdez admitting his own error, explaining that frustration got the better of him because he came up in the Morales-era mindset. Act with heart first, think later. Meanwhile, Shakur is calmly playing chess in the ring, coaxing reactions as if it's a pastime. Valdez made it clear, Shakur isn't there to put on a show, he's there to win. And that perfectly explains why this matchup unnerves people. Teofimo thrives on highlight moments, while Shakur dominates in every single minute.
But someone like Shakur Stevenson, like I said, it's easier said than done with a fighter like that because, it's not like he's too back from you. He's just right there in your face, and once you throw, he just rocks back a little bit and touches you. Then it becomes very frustrating. Then when you start loading up, then he does it again. He starts loading up at his shots, but just outboxing you. So I would just say it's like I said, it's a tough one for me to pick who will come out victorious. That's why I go with the 50-50 fight.
Valdez didn't dismiss Teofimo at all. He explained that pressure can work, but only when it's smart pressure. Not reckless, all-out pitbull-style attacks, but calculated suffocation, waiting for a single opening and making it count. When he calls this matchup a true 50-50, it's not indecision, it's respect for Teofimo's ceiling. Valdez reminded everyone that Teofimo elevates his performance against top competition, even if he seems unsteady at times. In Valdez's view, Shakur is the puzzle, but Teofimo might be the only fighter with the strength and athleticism to overturn the board entirely. That's why this fight feels less like a forecast and more like an exercise in risk assessment.
I know you tried to do it, and Shakur's undefeated at this point, but how do you beat a Shakur Stevenson?
I think how you beat a Shakur Stevenson, if I can go back and you do something, try. I say this try because, like I said, you just said it done, but try to put the pressure like Camarón Cepeda did, and just wait for your shot to land good, and then and make that damage where he has no one know that.
Right after Valdez framed this as more of a mental endurance test than a straight-up fight, Augie Sanchez stepped in, and he brings a rare perspective in boxing analysis. He's actually been in the ring with both fighters. That instantly changes the conversation. Augie didn't speak like a fan guessing outcomes. He spoke like a coach recalling first-hand moments. When he mentioned that Shakur didn't truly realize his own power until he dropped someone and seemed surprised by it himself. That says everything about the threat he poses. Augie also highlighted that Shakur doesn't waste punches, which I love because it shows he doesn't overwhelm opponents with noise. He dismantles them efficiently, like a phone battery draining faster than you expect. He made it clear, Shakur isn't Floyd 2.0. He's more stationary, comfortable staying right in front, landing precise shots, slipping just enough to avoid counters, and then returning fire with perfect timing. Almost like a receipt showing exactly what you owe.
I think Teo's his angles. I think his angles are gonna be a factor because he likes to use those angles. He's not one dimensional. He likes to use those angles, and I think that's gonna kind of be a factor in the fight of for Shakur. Because Shakur's kind of stay in one spot, and so Teofimo could be utilizing those angles to use to his advantage, and so I think Teofimo, I think that's gonna be a big factor, for him, is his angles and his speed and his power. He can crack too.
Then Augie flipped the perspective, reminding everyone that he's worked with Teofimo too. The same Olympic camp, the same grind in Colorado Springs, the same sparring sessions where it was clear that Teofimo had speed, power, angles, and that explosive athleticism that can't be taught. What stood out was Augie emphasizing Teofimo's angles, not just his raw power, because that's where this fight could be won or lost. He made it clear that Teofimo isn't one-dimensional, and if he can use those angles to disrupt Shakur's timing, that's when things get really compelling. But Augie also brought the focus back to reality. Shakur's timing and countering are world-class, and if you give him space, he'll find you. The striking part is hearing Augie talk about how close they all were back then, hanging out, sparring endlessly, and now facing each other for legacy and serious stakes. That shifts the story from rivalry to unfinished business. Augie didn't pick a side, and that's the loudest message of all. When a coach who's seen both fighters up close says, "Let the best man win," what he's really signaling is that this is a precise, technical battle where a single mistake can decide everything.
Teofimo, so he can put his counter to work and see his openings, and maybe capitalize off of. I don't know if he'll knock him out or stop. I don't know if he has the power to actually stop to stop Teofimo. But I think he has the power to get the respect of him. But it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a technical fight.
Do you give the edge to either guy just by the slightest, or having known them, you're not trying to pick a let the best man win?
Let the best man win. This guy.
Right after Augie Sanchez shared his rare "I've been in the ring with both" perspective, Regis Prograis stepped in like the friend who stops the conversation and says, "Let's get real about what truly tests fighters." He didn't hold back. Regis stated outright that Shakur would likely win comfortably, not because Teofimo lacks talent, but because, as he put it, the fight happens in Teofimo's mind long before it plays out physically. When Regis described Teofimo as athletically elite but mentally inconsistent, it wasn't criticism. It was a fighter reading patterns that all of us have seen. He highlighted how Teofimo elevates for opponents like Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, yet sometimes seems to argue with himself in other bouts. That's exactly where Shakur thrives, in the quiet space where doubt creeps in. Regis didn't ignore Teofimo's strong moments. He even gave credit to Barboza, but he always returned to the larger picture. Inconsistency, when facing a thoughtful opponent, can be deadly.
Of Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, that definitely makes sense. Who do you think is going to win that fight?
I got Shakur for sure. Shakur.
Do you think he wins this comfortably, or do you think it'll be a close fight?
I think he wins it comfortably. Yeah, I think he wins it comfortably. I think, Shakur. I think the thing is about Teo is very good athletically, but he's weak-minded. You can see in some fights he struggles. Teo does struggle. Now he does come up for big fights. Lomachenko, he came up. Josh Taylor, he came up. But a lot of fights, man, he struggled.
When Regis discussed the first few rounds being close, it rang true because early Teofimo is usually sharp, confident, and bouncing with belief. But then he described the gradual pressure. Shakur advancing, Teofimo swinging and missing. That's when frustration starts creeping into footwork, stance, and patience. And when Regis highlighted Shakur's counters slipping in, that landed hard. These aren't highlight reel punches. They're subtle, calculated strikes that quietly make you question your timing on every exchange. I love that Regis didn't call for a knockout, because that scenario is actually scarier. A methodical 12-round dismantling forces you to face the reality that your best strategies aren't working. This ties back perfectly to what Augie said about precision and timing. Regis is essentially pointing out that once Shakur locks in, the fight turns into a mental examination. And when a former champion warns that someone will break an opponent, he isn't talking about brute force. He's talking about breaking belief. That's the real danger in this matchup.
And I think he struggles mentally with a lot of things. But I think with Shakur, I think Shakur's going to break him. I think maybe the first two or three rounds, it might be a close fight. You know, it might be close. It might be 2-1 or something like that. But then after that, I feel like, Shakur is probably going to start stepping up and Teo's going to try to hit him and it's not going to work. And then Shakur might start. The thing about Shakur is a very good, a real good counterpuncher.
I think he struggles mentally with a lot of things. But against Shakur, I feel Shakur is going to break him. The first couple of rounds might be close, maybe even a 2-1 score. But after that, Shakur will start pressing forward. Teofimo will try to land shots, but they won't connect. And then Shakur, who is an incredibly sharp counterpuncher, will begin to take control, finding openings and making each exchange count.
About Shakur is a very good, a real good counterpuncher, really sharp, real sharp with the counterpunch. He sneaks those punches in, and that's the ones that hurt the most when he just sneaking them in when you're not supposed to hit him. So I definitely feel like, I feel like Shakur is gonna beat him comfortably. Now, not knockout, but comfortable 12 rounds.